Look, the sad truth is what happens in the gym isn't what's going to be most responsible for your fat loss. However, you guys already know that. You guys know that abs are made in the kitchen, a slimmer waist is made in the kitchen. But today we're going to talk about how we can at least do better in terms of our exercise, make that more efficient, so that when we take care of what's happening in the kitchen, we also know that we're taking care of what's happening in the workout. Let's talk about it. It's just a little bit harder. How did you make the fight from being put? What is up everyone, Simanga Makonjapa here. I'm a personal trainer and an online coach. Like I said, today we are going to talk about what it takes in that 5 to 15%, which is the actual workout that we do. We already know that abs are made in the kitchen, but today I want to talk about how we can further optimize what we do in the workouts so that we're all working towards the same goal. And the more T's that we can cross, the more that goal that we're trying to accomplish is going to be more likely to come true. So yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, right out the gates guys, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for coming back, and let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about how we can create the most effective fat loss workout that we can. So this is not obviously cut and paste for everyone, but these are just general things that I've used over the years that usually work for most people. But again, take what you will, leave what you will. So the first thing you don't want to do is overemphasize cardio. We've talked about this so often and it's kind of becoming more and more mainstream, which is fine. I'm not mad at that because it's good information. It's getting out into the public how we should not overemphasize cardio if our goal in body recomposition is to lose a little bit more fat. So we don't want to overemphasize cardio. We still want to strength train, and then when we add the cardio in, if need be, we add it in at the end of our workouts. So that's number one. Don't emphasize or overemphasize cardio and make it your be all and end all. Don't start with it, finish with it. Yeah, I feel like I have to say this over and over again because people just constantly think, no, well now I need to tone, I need to go to the treadmill, or I need to run and all these other things. So no, don't do that. Still strength train, but you can still do your cardio if you need to. Okay, number two, use or do movements, or perform movements rather, that use the most amount of energy. Because you're on a fat loss phase and your goal is to burn as much fat as possible. In the workout, we want to use movements. Normally these are compound movements that move multiple muscles, multiple joints at the same time. You want to like something like a squat, for example, something like a bench press, whatever. There's a couple of other compound movements, but those are just examples. But you want to use those moves that are going to guarantee you the most amount of muscle activity, because again, we're strength training, but also the most amount of calorie burn for the unit time that you're doing the movement, and also the most amount of bang for your buck for, again, the unit time that you're doing the movement. So you're being efficient in terms of, for this 5 minutes that I spend squatting, I'm targeting 1, 2, 3 muscles, but I'm also getting the most in terms of calorie burn that I can get with the same exercise. So a lot of this is just about being efficient. Like, if you just go into the gym and you do more than you used to do, of course you're gonna burn body fat, you're gonna move in the right direction, which is awesome. But this video is mostly about making things as efficient as possible, really heightening everything as much as you can. If you feel like you've already done the most, this video is just to shed a little bit more light as to how you can take it to the next level. Anyways, moving on, point number 3 is use opposing muscles or opposing body parts supersets. So what I mean by this is, let's say you do something like squat. Your main goal through this program is to build your legs. So you start with a squat, something like that, and then you could superset that squat. Obviously, you might want to rest a little bit more in between your supersets, so you don't want to necessarily jump from one exercise to the next, because the squats are they fatigue you so much. Axial fatigue is real. Just overall fatigue in your nervous system can be real also, depending on how heavy you're going. But you'll take a small break, and then you want to do something like let's say some pull downs, something that doesn't involve your legs whatsoever, so that you can still get that leg and glute work in, but then you also get some rear delts, some back, depending on what kind of pull down that you're doing. you can still get that in as well, so that you can get certain muscles down here and then also certain muscles up here. But then you almost congested the workout, and you've done so much more in terms of muscle activity, calorie burn. In maybe like 5 minutes, you've done those 2 sets already. And by the time it's time for the next set, you've done 10 minutes total, maybe about the workout, and 4 sets in total, 2 different muscle groups, 2 different exercises, about 4 muscle groups that you've targeted in 10 minutes. So that's how you can make those kind of things a little bit more efficient. And it's a technique that a lot of trainers and myself use when we're training clients, because we are limited in terms of time. We only have about an hour, most people, to train their clients. So in that hour, you need to get as much as we can in order to facilitate the result that the client wants, and sometimes ourselves, because we also use that when we're a little bit short on time. So use that one, the opposing body supersets, whether it's chest and back or legs and upper body, but basically things that won't be fatigued by me doing the other thing. What I mean by that, again, just in case you guys don't understand it, if I do like back, let's say I do some back, I wouldn't want to superset biceps with it, because those are so closely related. My forearms might be weak by the time it's time for the bicep curl. So you just want to do things that are totally, one does not involve the other. It also does depend. You can't necessarily do like a deadlift and a squat or something like that, but like movements that you can pair together and you're not super shattered when you've done the superset. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, make sure you leave me a comment and I'll further explain. Leave me a DM, whatever you feel like you need to do to further grasp the concept. Make sure you hit me up about that. All right, number 4 is high intensity cardio. And what I mean by high intensity cardio is, like we said earlier, you don't want to overemphasize the cardio. You don't want to make the cardio your be all and end all, but there comes a time where maybe you've done all you can in terms of your diet and you don't want to restrict your food in terms of your calories anymore. But then you can also do a little bit more in terms of your steps or the amount of calories that you want to burn in the gym through cardio. And that is totally fine, but again, you want to make sure you leave that until the end, and then you want to maybe make sure that you do something like high intensity interval training, where your goal is to get after it as much as you can for a certain amount of time, normally a couple seconds, like 15 maybe to 20, 25 seconds, maybe at the most. You get your heart rate really high, and then you let it come down again for a certain amount of time, and you go up again, whether it be interval sprints, the assault bike, the ski erg. It's the same kind of concept, just for you can use it in different types of exercises and different types of movement. But the main thing with that one is it's gonna increase the amount of calorie you can burn for the unit time. Again, you're not gonna be in the gym doing as much in terms of your time, but you're gonna be using your time more efficiently, and you'll be burning just as much or maybe a little bit more calories sometimes than certain people who just might walk only. Not to say that walking is bad, but again, this video is mainly to make things more efficient. Okay, last but not least, this one is super important, maybe more important than all the others put together. But just simply choose a modality that you enjoy, whether it be resistance training, whether it be running, and I absolutely don't want you guys to use cardio as a form of fat loss. Please do not. But what I'm trying to get at is, whatever it is, however you structure your training, make sure that it's a routine that, even if you're not someone who likes to go to the gym, structure it in such a way where you're like, I guess I don't hate this routine that much, in such a way that it's enjoyable enough for you. Because if it's enjoyable enough for you, you're most probably going to be able to stick to it in the long term, and then obviously that's guaranteeing you more results in the long term, or at least increasing your probability of having better results in the long term. Right, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you do not know, then get to know, because I just finished a starter pack program. The starter pack program, just in case you don't know, is a program that I made for someone who's a beginner starting out in the gym. They don't know what to do, and this program is super comprehensive. What is wrong with my words today? But basically, on that program, you will find things like a supplement PDF, dealing with how you use supplements, a diet guide, 40 plus in terms of the video library that I put on there. It's just basic moves for someone who's starting out, doesn't know what to do, and that thing is going to lead you in the correct direction. Just comment starter on the video and I'll make sure I send that to you. Otherwise, ngiyabonga, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.